Panther people, what's going on? Let's talk about the rookies that I think are going to make an impact on day one, and also talk grass. What's going on? You're watching Panthers Pulse with Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining. Before I get started, happy Memorial Day long weekend for all you Americans out there watching. I think it's about 98% of my viewers are from the States, mostly from the great state of North Carolina, some South Carolina there as well. I also think a bit of Missouri, maybe some Alaska. And then shout out to my European viewers in Spain and in Germany and in the UK, of course. Here in Canada, it is the Victoria Day long weekend. That's going to be on Monday. Lots of fireworks. We also call it May 2-4. I think that's an Ontario thing. Either way, have a great and safe long weekend. Speaking of some of the viewers, some of y'all are over in Raleigh, North Carolina, and shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes. They are my somewhat backup team. Kind of have to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan here in Southern Ontario, but since that, they don't know how to get out of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Hurricanes, kind of my squad right now. So shout out to them. This could be kind of an unofficial Carolina Hurricanes fan cast as well. Let's get to the Carolina Panthers right now. And boy, I don't know. I've been feeling a lot more enthusiastic about this team after the draft. Taking a look at the rookie minicamp that's going on right now. Matt Corral rocking the number 9. Ekwonu rocking 79. You got CJ Henderson rocking 24, not 15 anymore. Just all those little things just make you feel a little bit better. And you see Matt Corral talking with the media, answering some pretty tough questions like a CEO of a team, which is a quarterback. And I guess I'm the only one feeling this way. I know some of you guys are feeling that way, especially in the comment community, feeling a bit enthused about this squad. But that doesn't seem to be the case in the national media, which we got to, preface all this. But the national media doesn't really pay that much attention to the Carolina Panthers outside the fact that Sam Darnold is a bust. And that seems to be their rationale. If you take a look at these way too early power rankings heading into the 2022-2023 season, Carolina Panthers either in the bottom 3 or the actual bottom of many national media power rankings. And it seems like the main reason is Sam Darnold just hasn't panned out and is not a good quarterback statistically. The worst starting quarterback in the league, and also Matt Rule's on the hot seat, and that is just not a healthy situation to be in. We all know how the media works right now, especially on the national level. You got guys like you got Carolina Panthers. Now we all know. Now I think we should understand that a lot of these insiders are what they are. They're insiders. They have scoops within each squad. And so they're kind of a mouthpiece for the team. And so we all know David Tepper hasn't said much. He had one press conference, didn't really say too much, gave his vote of confidence for Matt Rule, which he's supposed to do right now. But maybe he's letting reporters know on the down low, hey, I want to stay anonymous here, but Matt Rule's on the hot seat. I don't think Sam Darnold's any good. And so the national media projects it out there. And that's going to be a narrative heading into the season. And if you check out my last episode talking about the schedule, the breakdown, the fact that there's a chance if the Panthers start 0-2, especially losing against the New York Giants, which again was a horrible loss last year, Matt Rule could be fired in September. I truly do believe that could happen. And you can see I was saying first, it was the fans who could be calling for his head if they all start 0-2, or if Sam Darnold's absolute trash yet again to start the season. The calls, not just from the fans for Matt Rule to be fired and for Matt Corral to go under center, but I could see the national media going that way as well, because they're already setting it up. They're already throwing out the ball for the alley-oop that they're going to be hounding the Panthers, whether it's against Matt Rule or against Sam Darnold, that if they don't start off right in a weakened NFC, especially the first 2 games of the season, it's, the Cleveland Browns at the Bank of America Stadium and the New York Giants. If they start 0-2 and they really don't look good, they don't look like a cohesive unit, I could see even the national media say that, Sam Darnold's got to go and Matt Rule's got to go with him. And Matt Corral may as well start early. And Ben McAdoo or Steve Wilkes has got to be the new head coach interim until they find a new one in the offseason. I can see it happening with the national media, just the narrative that they're building already in May. Enough with the negativity, though, okay? We talked about the national media not really knowing too much about the team. Let's talk about how I feel, how we feel about this Panthers team, specifically the rookie class. And I tweeted it out after the rookie minicamp saying, I don't know, something about this feels different. The energy that is coming out of this draft class, maybe because they actually drafted best player available, but also a need, whether you have a stalwart left tackle for the franchise for the next 10, 15 years, and then potentially a franchise quarterback. It just feels like it's a very complete rookie class, which is why I feel so enthused about this team heading into the upcoming season. So let's talk about rookies that I feel are going to be making an impact on day one. I'm not saying week 5, not saying week 6, 7, or 2. I'm saying week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. These are the rookies I feel are going to make an impact. All right, goes without saying that it would be a huge, huge upset and a surprise if Ikem Ekwonu, Icky, the Pancake Prince, bookmark that, I should trademark that, isn't starting at left tackle or somewhere on the line for the Panthers as they take on the Cleveland Browns in week 1 against, I think it would be a gigantic mistake and a whiff if somehow James Campion Company cannot coach up 6th overall pick Ikem, Icky, the Pancake Prince Ekwonu to be the Panthers' starting left tackle week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. I really do feel like this guy's the energy he brings, the moxie he brings, the talent, just the straight up raw strength as well, where he just bullies guys. I think there's no way this guy does not start week 1 at the left tackle position. Him, and whether it's Austin Corbett or Bradley Bozeman or maybe a future rookie that I'm going to talk about in a couple seconds, I think he's going to make an immediate impact. I think he's going to make his presence known in front of the home crowd. He's going to be booking up an entire section at Bank of America Stadium in the 100 level or maybe in the club seats for his family. We've all seen the pictures now when he was a kid, which is literally like 5 years ago, rocking a Luke Kuechly jersey at Bank of America Stadium. He's going to be hype, and he's going to be a menace. His first test is going to be against Myles Garrett. 2 guys who are extremely strong, extremely gigantic. It's going to be like Hulk taking on the Abomination. I don't know which one's which. Since we're the good guys here, I'm going to say Ikem is the Hulk in this situation. And then they're going to collide, and then it might create a crater right in the middle of Bank of America Stadium, which might be a good thing because they'd have to replace the field turf with actual grass. But that's going to be quite the matchup to check out. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to have ISO cam on this matchup, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure he's going to get schooled at some point by Garrett, but I also feel like Ikem just has an innate athleticism about him for his size and his weight. I feel like he's going to have an immediate impact. I think there's going to be some moments there where he's just going to, have zero fear and just bull rush Myles Garrett and then open up a nice little hole for either Christian McCaffrey or Deontay Foreman or Chuba Hubbard. And I feel like I have high hopes for this guy. All rookie NFL type situation. I truly do feel that way. And so, yeah, Ikem Ekwonu, surprise, surprise, instant impact. The other rookie I think is going to make an instant impact is going to be linebacker Brandon Smith. I think his height, his size, his athleticism generally, and just his youthful exuberance, and the fact that also, Matt Rule is an ex-Penn State linebacker, walk-on, but still he is. I feel like he's going to make an impact. Maybe not with the defense itself, but maybe on special teams. I think his speed, which is definitely, you can tell just by who the Panthers drafted this year, speed was a very big measure, big metric for them to call someone's name on draft night. So I feel like he's going to make a big impact, whether as a gunner on special teams, on kickoff, or on punt. I feel like he's going to lay somebody out. And then potentially maybe, they're taking on the Cleveland Browns week 1, up against David Njoku, some of those Austin Hooper, some of the athletic tight ends that they do have at their disposal. I don't know who's throwing them the rock, but I feel like he's going to be good in coverage as well. And also just like a guy could be a rusher, and kind of like a poor man's Micah Parsons, just coming off the edge with Brian Burns on one same side, Brian Burns on the left side, and then you got Smith on the outside, just using his athleticism to overwhelm, the Cleveland Browns left tackle. And I feel like he can make an instant impact. I could see him making some noise day 1 at home in front of the fans. I really do feel that way. Rookie that I think is going to make an instant impact is not Matt Corral, but another player drafted out of the SEC in Cade Mays, the offensive lineman out of Tennessee via Georgia. You're taking a look at what the beat reporters are coming out of high school, obviously playing in the SEC as well, and he's just a smart dude, and he's a future coach in the waiting. They're already saying it. He hasn't played a gosh darn down in the NFL in the regular season, but they already say that he's going to be so good as a rookie and as a vet down the line that he's eventually just going to be a head coach at some point, whether at the NFL level, college, or high school, who knows, but he's got the brain. So I feel like with the offensive linemen that they have already, with Ikem, obviously, you got Bozeman, who could be the center for the Panthers in the future, Austin Corbett, and then you got Taylor Moton, and then you got Brady Christensen. There's a chance that, if someone like Austin Corbett goes down, he's not older, but, he is older than Cade Mays. I feel like Cade can come in there, and he can come in a couple plays on day one against the Cleveland Browns, whether it's, it might be easier for a rookie to do run plays, rush block, than pass protection. That takes a little bit more finesse. I can see Cade Mays starting on the offensive line, especially on run plays, and making an impact, and also being a great locker room guy, probably like starting now. There's still rumored to be, kicking the tires at Baker Mayfield. I was watching Good Morning Football, which is a great show, great show, one of the best morning shows in sports television right now. Brant, one of the, stars of Good Morning Football, mentioned something that I've been saying as well, and you could probably just notice it on Twitter. In this day and age of social media, players can just say whatever they want, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or on Twitter. And normally you got guys recruiting other cats. To see A.J. Brown, you see Jalen Hurts like chatting with each other, talking about what it's going to be like to team up in the city of brotherly love. But when it comes to Baker Mayfield, no one's saying anything. Nobody. You're not seeing, Odell Beckham. You're not seeing Jarvis Landry. You're not seeing Kareem Hunt or anybody like that saying, you know what? Hey, Baker, go get the bag. Go get a starting position. You got done dirty here in Cleveland. You deserve to start somewhere. Carolina would love him. You're not seeing that anywhere. You're not seeing it anywhere. You even saw Ole Miss Rebels, who are now playing in the league, talking about Matt Corral, their former college quarterback. This is while they're in the pros with professional quarterbacks throwing them the rock, saying, oh, Matt Corral's the guy. He's the dog. I'll do anything for that guy. Carolina Panthers got to steal. You're not seeing that kind of talk happening on social media from players about Baker Mayfield, which gets me thinking, what is up with this guy? What's with the energy? Is he going to bring weird energy to the bank if they do pick him up, even if it's on the free from the Cleveland Browns? I just don't like that. I think the Panthers right now, as I mentioned, they got some good juice going right now. There's still guys who defend Sam Darnold on that team. I don't know how many guys are going to be defending Baker Mayfield's presence in the locker room. You already know Robbie Anderson, how he feels about that. So just back off, work with what we're working right now. Maybe a Nick Foles. I feel like players at least respect him a little bit. He could be a veteran presence that can coach up both Sam Darnold and Matt Corral. And of course, there's the Cam Newton situation, but we all know Cam Newton wants to win. He wants to win right now. Maybe it could be with the Seattle Seahawks, who currently don't have a quarterback, but are building a better team. At least they built the offensive line. And, he can definitely compete with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. But I don't know what Cam Newton's future is with the squad. If he comes back and the quarterback room is Cam Newton, P.J. Walker, Matt Corral, Sam Darnold, I'm okay with that too. But at this point, I just want to see the guy win a ring. Talking about a bunch of sports so far in this episode of Panthers Post. I already talked about Carolina Hurricanes hockey, and now I'm going to talk about soccer, or footy, football, the beautiful game. Of course, Charlotte, the home of Charlotte FC. They're also going to be the home temporarily for 90 minutes to Chelsea, the huge London club. Not my favorite. Absolutely not my favorite. Gross club. Disgusting. But they're going to be playing at Bank of America Stadium this summer. And you guys are going to like hearing this. Those who hate field turf. Chelsea are requesting that Bank of America Stadium have natural grass for their multi-million-dollar, huge global star, Christian Pulisic, all type players to play. They don't want to get injured on field turf, all right? And so the Panthers are going to be forced to put in natural grass, whether it's just for that game, but they're going to realize we made a mistake with the field turf situation. If they put in fake grass, field turf for the rest of the year, I feel, even though it's faster, it is faster. It is definitely a faster surface. But it seems that the consensus with players is that it starts, it leads to injuries. Just take a look at Christian McCaffrey and J.C. Horn, both dropped at the field at Energy Stadium in Houston in week 4 against the Houston Texans. And so, honestly, I feel like the option that David Tepper has, because he talks about the reason why they don't want to put real grass, is because he's going to have concerts and all these different things going on at Bank of America Stadium. If you take a look at Tottenham Hotspur, which is a legitimate club, which could be kind of a leverage thing here with Tepper, the football field, the NFL football field with natural grass it transforms. It goes from a soccer pitch, and then it expands, and then the football pitch comes in, and all is natural grass. So it is possible, but I don't think it's going to be possible with the infrastructure at Bank of America Stadium, which then adds the leverage to Tepper that he wants to build a brand new stadium for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm all for that if it has that situation so they can host multiple events, whether it's soccer, whether it's concerts, the Rolling Stones, whatever. I think that's the best for everybody, but that's not a now's solution. That's a solution like 10 years from now. In the meantime, it looks like they're going to have real grass for a day, and that'll be that. And you have to wait maybe another decade or so, whether it's a new stadium coming up with the real grass in place. That's it for this episode of Panthers Post. Make sure to like, subscribe, spread the word, and have a great weekend.